Hello, today we are going to be going over our latest update. First, we're going to start out with a change that's going to affect a lot of internal tables and reports. So let's go under a driver here, just as an example. We can see their charges. If we go down here, you will see that previously we had added an option to filter by specific criteria and toggle through pages. But now we have this new button here called Visible Columns, where you will then be able to adjust which columns that you see and reorganize the order that they're in. So it's going to be a similar format to the other main lists in the TMS, but now you can completely customize then what you see based off of what your company would like to see. You also have another shortcut here. If you right-click, you'll be able to copy information here, open up the visible column, so the same as the button down here, and then you'll be able to hide a specific column that you had clicked in. So as you can see, this will now hide that column. So again, this will be on many internal tables as well as different reports for your convenience. The next change that we have is going to be in regards to maintenance. So it's going to be a small change here. If we go to our maintenance section, we now have a column that is associated with a new vendor field. So you'll be able to see if there was a different vendor that may have provided this maintenance repair, for example, for you. So if we go in one, you'll be able to see we have this new field that you'll be able to select from our vendors list if that company had done that maintenance there for you. Next change we have in regards to our express codes. So if we go to our list, we now see a new column that is listed as voided. So you'll see a simple yes or no if this express code was voided or not. So hopefully this will provide for a little bit more of sorting information and then additional API as well. Next change that we have is going to be a complete revamping of our driver inspections. So as you can see here, we have now quite a bit of new columns that are associated to new fields in regards to a driver inspection. So if we have integration, we'll be able to pull this information and parse it from our FMCSA report. But let's take a look now at how this inspection will be changed. So as you can see, we have additional tabs and additional fields under each tab as well. So we'll still get our report number, but now we will see status here, whether it's open, closed, or pending, the inspection date, the state that it happened in, the inspection level, full, walk around, driver only, enhanced inspection, to name a few examples, which driver, truck, trailer, or invoicing company it was associated with, a court date, if there was a specific defender, you can select them from the vendors list, court results, so not guilty or convicted, and then the amount that it was for. You'll be able to see these checkboxes as well, if there was a court member or if this was deductible or non-deductible. Under our verification tab, you'll see the source of then this inspection, whether it was an FMCSA download, manually entered, or other. You will then also have additional fields for data queue, all the way from open, pending, forwarded, or closed with no action taken or with an action taken. You'll be able to see the date that it was posted, received, who it was received by. So this will then select from your users list the date that it was also verified, who it was verified by, the date it was submitted to data queue, the data queue review date, reply due date, and if there was an accident associated with it as well. You will have additional information under the violations tab as well. So this will parse the data if you do have that integration, but if not, you can always enter it manually. So which unit it was associated with, truck, trailer, driver, the violation code. As well, you can type in the code and it will show you then any matches, your violation category, discovered, citation number, the state citation result, EIP, OOS, certify, and then post-crash as well. So you'll be able to then have that information, and then again, as you can see, you can adjust visible columns, as we had mentioned previously. You'll have the comment section still here available, so you'll be able to see who entered any comments or change them, and then any files attached. So if you have that integration, you will be able to see this file then automatically input under files of the report, but then you can also add any pertinent files if needed. Next change that we have is going to be in regards to accessorials and at what stage they can still be added. So for example, previously we were not able to add accessorials to any orders that were already invoiced, but now we have adjusted this workflow a bit where if you go into the invoice status and then you open up an order, you will see that when going to the accessorials tab, you will now have this button unlocked and you'll be able to add actual accessorials from the invoice status. So let's say if you needed to do any rebilling, if you needed to add a specific lumper, any other accessorials, you can then also regenerate that information here and add them from that next status as opposed to rolling them. The next change that we have is going to be in regards to our IFTA report. So if we go under reports in IFTA, we have added a new filter criteria, which would be by states, as you can see here. So you can select your specific state that you would like to filter by. So same type of process, you're still selecting your trucks, or if you wanted to do all for the period. And if you just wanted to select specific states, you can now just check the box that is next to them, and then click calculate down at the bottom, and then it will limit that information to only those specific states that you had filtered. So again, you'll have to wait a bit for it to process based off of that additional filtered criteria. And then you will still have all of that information based off of the trucks in that time period, and now just filtered by those additional states. If there's any errors, again, it will show you anything. But then also going back to our ability to adjust certain columns, you can now right click here. Let's say I don't need to see that one. I can then hide the column, and then if I need to bring it back, I can just click on visible columns and it will now be brought back into my report. Following change is going to be a small one in regards to our vehicle inspection. So this one is under our shop. So under vehicle inspection, we have now added an additional feature that should make it a little bit easier to communicate some of this information. If you go under our file section, you will now be able to see that you can send this via an email, whereas previously you would only be able to view it and print it or download it. So now you will have an option to send the vehicle inspection file via an email. And one last change that we have in regards to this update is also in regards to the shop. We have now, as you can see, a multi-point inspection. So this will be very beneficial before doing any work orders as well, or you can input them even on their own. So you will see that you have all of this data that is then associated to the specific multi-point inspection. Let's edit one up here so we can see what would be included. So you have a similar format to the other vehicle inspection, but we have additional fields and then criteria. So again, you'll see the date, truck, mileage, steer tires, thread for the right hand and left hand. Next, preventative maintenance, if there was a trailer associated with it, which user did it. And then you have all of these fields from oil level, glass, washer wipes, transmission oil hose, annual inspection, where you can then check. Again, having the ability to do this from a Microsoft Surface tablet, put in any notes that you would like, and then also attach any pictures associated to that multi-point vehicle inspection. So you can input it as a standalone inspection as well, but you will now also have the option of, when creating a work order, and then actually providing a multi-point vehicle inspection in regards to that specific work order. So typically you would have to check out certain fields of the truck that you would be doing any work on to make sure everything's good. So you will actually now be able to associate any of those multi-point vehicle inspections to a specific work order, so you'll have a history of what was actually checked before doing any work on that truck. So that concludes the newest features and changes of our latest update. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.